Welcome back to another episode. I guess I'm going to call this series Culinary Cheat Codes. That's what I'm guessing. That's the gamer in me. Thanks for all the love and support for my last video. That was actually pretty awesome. I think it was 3 days and it had like 50 views. And nobody disliked it, which was pretty awesome. If you guys want to keep seeing more of these, just keep liking, subscribing. I really appreciate it. Kind of motivates me to do. I do that without partners. It's pretty awesome. So I mean, it's not like any of the big guys that have the like Epic Mealtime or something, but still pretty cool. Kind of gets me motivated to do more. This one's really simple. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. Tools of the trade. A right tool for the right job. Not all of these are actually like essential for your kitchen. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been making it by without a lot of some of the stuff I'm going to show you, but it's really handy to have. Makes your life a little bit easier. First of all, your just 8-inch chef knife. Very important. Have a good blade. Keep it sharp. Make sure that it's full tank construction, which is just means that it's essentially metal from the tip and the core all the way to the end. Balanced. It'll do most of your work for you if you get a knife like that. Good blade might run you about $100, but it'll save you a lot of heartache in the wrists and hands. And okay, let's see. Sharpening Steel. Went over that a little bit in the first one. Something like that, just to keep your edge fine. It'll save cuts on your fingers in the long run. Now this next bit, everybody pretty much has a whisk right here, just standard whisk. I've probably owned like 10 whisks. They all serve different functions. I have some that are really, really long that I use for like making batter and stuff like that, so I don't have as minimal action in my wrist to maximize results. One of the cooler things that you have, heat-safe whisks. Now this is a high-temp plastic instead of metal, and I can literally scramble eggs in a Teflon pan without scratching it because of this whisk. Now it's a pretty cool whisk. I do have another one, which is a high-temp resilient silicone coated metal whisk. You can't probably tell in the video, but it's just your standard whisk that just has a silicone coating over the wires, which is pretty cool. Not my favorite is a slide on the bottom of the pan like this whisk does. Now, whisks are always a pain because cleaning is a little difficult. Heat safe spatula, I can get to that in a minute. Roux whisk. This is a really cool whisk. As you can see, it's got a sharp angle on it. And what that is used for is when you're making a roux, to keep lumps out of whatever the sauce or soup that you're making. This enables you to get down the edge of a pot, which is pretty cool. Not heat safe plastic though, so metal, so don't use this in Teflon because you will scratch it up. And Lord knows I cringe every time I watch a cooking video with somebody using metal in their Teflon pans. It just ruins the pan. Heat safe spatula, really cool stuff there. I probably own a dozen different heat safe spatulas. Make sure that when you buy a spatula that it says heat safe. I have been gifted spatulas that are not heat safe. I would not go out and buy one myself because these do everything that a spatula does, a rubber spatula. It just does it at higher temperatures as well, so I don't have to worry about burning. It's rated for 550 degrees in a pan, so even hot oils usually, unless you're working with like melted sugar, shouldn't affect it. I don't really care much for serrated knives. I'd rather have a clean edge. I find that it cuts through most things rather well. I do keep one bread knife handy. And some of my family could actually argue that it's good at carving turkey. For Thanksgiving, I don't really care much for that. Although what does really good job, like those electric carving knives that you see. If you ever have a cake and you want it to stay pretty while you're cutting it, an electric carving knife actually does a really, really good job at that, surprisingly enough. I wouldn't use it for carving a turkey, but for that purpose. This is the knife that I was using in the last video. This is actually my favorite knife. And you can see it's got these little divots that actually allows the knife to breathe while you're cutting it. And why do you need a knife to breathe? I mean, it's not like it's a living, it's an inanimate object. What's cool about that is, say you're chopping something that is high density and high moisture, it'll tend to stick to your blade. I don't know if you've ever chopped potatoes, but if you're cutting a potato, it's really hard to get it off of both sides of the knife, and then you run the risk of cutting yourself and things like that. With a knife like this, you're able to cut into the potato, and it falls easily off either side. So, pretty cool knife. It's my favorite. It's the one that I use the most, my go-to. And I guess the more that you cook, the more that you'll have favorite tools in your kitchen too. This is a knife that I actually keep around for pretty much one thing only. This is a 10-inch chef knife. This thing is a monster. This is one of those things that you see, oh, I never suspected Joe from next door. I would have never thought he would have killed his wife. This is the knife that he used to kill his wife. I don't recommend killing your wife or husband with a knife like this, just because it hurt your wrists mostly. Well, that and moral reasons. But I use this knife for chicken, believe it or not. And I'll actually make a video showing you how to dissect the chicken, maybe even bone it if you want to. I don't know. It just depends. If you guys comment, just let me know if you want to see something like that. But I can cut up a chicken into 8 pieces, drumstick, thigh, breast, wing. I can do it in about 30 seconds to 45 seconds with this knife. That's the one nice thing about it. It kind of doubles as my cleaver. And I don't actually hack into it, but just the sheer weight of the knife and the leverage that you're able to apply to the knife makes for very easy to use. And lastly, I guess you can kind of see my mortar and pestle over there. Right there. I like that for grinding spices. If you want to get more flavor out of the seasonings that you're using, pick up one of those. Doesn't have to be stainless steel like that one, but stone one works fine. I actually contemplated getting a marble one, but ended up with that one, and I love it. Cutting boards. A lot of people say that you should have cutting boards designated for specific things. Now, if you're doing like a stir fry or something like that, and you're cutting up like chicken or meat or something like that, you can go ahead and cut up the vegetables that you're going to be cooking with that, as long as it's something that's not going to be raw. And it's a big misconception with the whole safety and sanitation bit, which I'll do a whole entire video about that. But as long as you're cooking it, it's going to be fine. You just don't want anything to sit on it for 4 hours is the lag phase for bacteria. But what you're going to want to wash it and oil it after every use. So get yourself some butcher block oil so that you can keep your wood nice and essentially not dried out because they will split. This is a bamboo cutting board, but I've got, I don't know, a million cutting boards. There's a cutting that Mortar and Pestle is actually sitting on a cutting board. All my surfaces, my countertops are all they're all cutting board because I have butcher block tops for everything. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. Hopefully I'll actually put out another video in the next day or so that's going to involve cooking. I'm thinking I'm going to do eggs next. A lot of do's and don'ts and ease of use and how to tell certain things, like if an egg is bad without actually having to break it open and find out, oh, it's bad. But again, if you guys like the videos, just like them, subscribe if you want to see more of these. I do appreciate the love from the last one, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.